Got it. It says we're being live streamed now.
Oh yeah, I can't see
I
it
got the
yet.
message.
I can't see you or I can't see it. Redirecting to YouTube.
It says it's streaming now.
Okay. Can you see us on YouTube yet?
No, I'm not looking on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm just looking at YouTube. Oh, now we on.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I think there's like a slight delay.
Oh, there
But why
is
do I?
there is a delay.
Okay.
So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to.
Wow. This.
Is anyone? Oh, you can. Okay, Mel can see us and hear us. Even my
Okay.
mic.
Right. Maybe I should close the
Awesome.
blinds. I don't know. Let me see.
Show
I don't
me.
want.
Close the blinds.
I don't want to get up. Bear with me, folks.
Oh,
Y'all are
that's
watching.
better.
What's better? I'm going to switch the lighting again. I don't know. See, here's the thing. Some things never change, huh?
I feel so weird doing this live through Zoom because this delay is annoying.
Don't watch it.
Ah,
Why didn't you?
okay.
What?
Oh, sorry.
What?
Because I was watching myself on YouTube and I'm thinking that's so weird. I'm sorry, guys. We're getting there. Oh God! Hi, Candy. Hi, Renee.
I can't. So you see why this Leo needs to have a spotlight, because when you rely on other things, they never get the lighting right. Like, why do I look like this? Why do I look
It
gray?
might be because of the things behind you. Maybe you better close them. I thought at
Okay.
the very beginning when you switched the light on, it was better.
Fine,
What did you do then?
fine.
Hi, Jordan. Hi, Kim. Blue Crescent Tarot. What's your name? I forgot. Hello.
See, guys, this is real life. Okay. This is real life.
Yes.
Whew.
Oh,
Is
that's
that
if.
better?
Oh, can you come a bit closer? Then you better. You have to do this. Oh,
What kind of show we have? You
sweater
want me to
is
come
here.
closer? Like, seriously? But what kind of show? Kasha, you should have prepped me.
Sorry. Okay, hello everyone. As you see, hi Gigi. We're getting ready. We are going to be talking light tonight. We thought we both love tarot, as you know, and we have a lot of decks, both of us. So we're going to be chatting, and we didn't really plan it very well. So wherever we go, Queen Auset has she's a Leo. I have ascendant in Leo. We connect on this Leo new. Not it's not new moon, but it's Leo moon, and we're heading towards the new moon on Saturday in Europe. So we thought we're going to catch the last of the Leo before it moves totally into Virgo season. So
Excuse, but as I
yes,
always say, what do I always say, Kasha?
what
It's
Leo?
always Leo season.
Ah, no, yes, it's
Always.
always Leo season.
Always.
You can say that.
That's right.
I know. I remember when I met you, and it stuck with me that you were celebrating your birthday for the whole month. And I'm like,
That's
that's
right.
fucking cool. And I remember a
Yes.
couple of years back, you were like posting, you were sharing what gifts you're buying for yourself for your birthday. And it was going on and on and on. I'm like,
Right.
that's so cool. I love it. Cool. Okay, we have some people on, and
Okay.
I thought we are going to start Queen Auset. I don't know. Do you think? Do I need to introduce you? Maybe I do introduce you.
Okay.
So, for anybody who doesn't know Queen Auset, Queen Auset is a well, a long-term friend of mine. We had our ups and downs, but I think good friendships have those. If you don't have those in your friendships, then wait for
That's
them.
not a friendship.
Yeah,
That's an acquaintanceship. That's not a friendship.
exactly. Because, there is no way people won't, headbutt at times, especially when
It's
they all strong individuals and shit. But you, Queen said, you always were my big inspiration, and I always, and until this day, and probably forever, from any time I met you, your storytelling and the way you speak about things and how you just like hold the voice and the language that you use. I find it so beautiful, and I think this is one of your greatest gifts, just the way you, it's like you're a natural storyteller, and I think it's really, really beautiful, and I just don't see too many people using language and just having this vibe how you do it. Like, not many people do it. So I always appreciated this about you. I always appreciate your research when you do reviews. This is like totally different experience. So if you guys don't know, Oya's Girl is Queen Auset's YouTube channel, and she's got a lot of videos there, so you can head on and enjoy some of her walkthroughs and reviews and different videos that she posted. They always interesting. You don't edit. And
no.
yeah, and you an elder in community. I think you've been on this tarot gig for a long, long time. You teach, you've been working with tarot for a long time. You read for people, and that shows, the experience and just like wisdom that comes with being on life, like alive at this planet for a couple of years. So I think that's also like what I appreciate a lot.
Thank
And that's
you.
why I think that you can't disappear totally. Like, I miss you when you're not there, and it's always, like, it's fine to have breaks, of course, and of course you can disappear if you feel like it. But I did miss you when you had now your little sabbatical, and I was missing your videos, and like, I just wish you put a video up from time to time at least. So that's Queen Auset.
Thank you. Thank you, Kasha. Thank you for having me. I cannot see who's in the chat, who's watching. How are you watching? I'm not on my phone. My phone is all the way over there, and I'm not getting up.
Yeah, we have a couple of people.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thank you so much, Kasha, for having me. Again, I'm trying to work out this whole lighting situation, which has always been the bane of my existence since I started my YouTube channel. I never could get the lighting correctly. And that's probably one of the reasons why I don't edit, because real life is not edited. That's my mantra, right? So now I do prep a little bit. I have an idea in mind, stewing, marinating of what I want to talk about in a particular thing. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do have some things even now. And then I just wing it. I let spirit step in and wing it that way. So, yeah.
I wish like, sometimes I'm rewatching my videos and I'm thinking, oh gosh, Kasia, why can't you just speak a little bit slower? And I said the same to Natalia. I'm like, Natalia, you bloody Russian, just speak a little bit slower, people don't fucking understand what you're saying when you speak so fast. So it's always fun. And like, you have this like grace about talking, it's the queen way. So I hope I get there.
You will, if that's what you desire.
Yes, that's what I do desire.
Then just work on it. Take your time, right?
Yes.
Who is going to listen to you will stay and listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
Right?
People say that they missed you and that you're not allowed to disappear.
Okay.
Okay. So, guys, we thought we're going to start on this very controversial subject, which is the big eyes. And I know it's probably, maybe I'm the most, I'm laughing at I'm laughing myself at my own jokes the most probably, but I'm not lying, that this was like such a twist in my tarot and oracle journey that I didn't expect at all. and it's all, I think, Julie's from Picabooros. That's her fault, actually, because her little deck, when I saw it, I thought like, oh fuck.
Right. It's so cute. Yeah, what she did is absolutely wonderful. Of course, not that I needed any more decks, but who needs? It's we all understand this is never about needing a deck. If you're watching this, anyone who's watching this, you don't need a deck, another deck. So we might as well just put that off the table. It's just, I had to have it, right? I mean, it's cute and it's stunning and it's vivacious and it's different and it's Julie.
And it's Julie.
You know what I mean? It's exactly like, who else could have done that but Julie, And I'm not going to say that I've been in love with the artwork, but as a deck collector, I had gotten all the decks. I did. And you know what? I had this one. I have it. And standard, of course, the big eyes, blah, blah, blah. And that's what it looked like. So this is a true deck collector, but I had to have this one with that D30 dice on there. The reason why I got it, because, oh my freaking God, look at that gilding. Can you see that? Can you see that purple? Look at that gilding. Right. That is the only reason why I bought this deck, for the gilding. I haven't read with it. I haven't used it. I've had this deck since it came out.
I actually think I didn't want to buy this one, I thought like, oh no, one is enough, I'm still like getting there with the big eyes, even though I already have 4 of the oracles and 2 of the tarots. And I think that's it. But I actually watched somebody did a comparison video between this one and the first edition, and I actually preferred the second edition. I like that she changed the lovers. There was a couple of cards which they actually changed, which I thought the changes for in this case were actually for me better. I preferred what they changed it into. And I thought like, I don't need this deck. I have Julie's deck, but I actually enjoy those keywords, and I think the book is written quite well as well.
Well, yes, exactly.
It's really cool.
I'm a guidebook hound. I was going to use another word. Okay, I was going to use another word, but for me, I'm a guidebook snob. And I think it was Marin from Waves of Your Soul. I just reconnected myself to her YouTube channel, just fell in love with her all over again. And she talked about some of her favorite tarot guidebooks. And I know that reading the guidebook for a lot of people is like, oh, I'm not going to bother, blah, blah, blah. But I can just immerse myself into the guidebook if it's well written, because that's a story in of itself. That gives me so much more depth and meaning to the cards that I'm looking at, that I don't even have to have the cards in front of me. I can envision them in my mind when reading the guidebook. And you can miss so many nuances if you don't open up the book that was written. And especially if it's a thick, juicy guidebook, all that time and attention and detail that's put into that book, don't bypass it, folks. Like, seriously, you can glean so much information. And then you can use that guidebook with other decks that you have in your collection as well, But yes, the guidebooks are well written. I'm going to sit down and do a comparison between the 2 decks, because honestly, I never did that. I've just bought it, as I said, because it had purple gilding. Like,
I'm curious to hear like what you think about the changes that they did, because it's I thought like, they didn't change a lot of cards, but a couple of them were a bit like, I'm like, that's lovers? No, that's bloody like set for lovers or something. I mean, I think it was lovers. We have like some haters and some lovers. I mean, haters, in quotation marks, for the big eyes. I get you guys. People say like, that like Renee says that this is like a shadow thing for her. Big Eyes as a struggle for Kim, and people just go, oh no.
I know, but it's just like we had said, like we were talking about the fairy tale oracle deck,
Yes.
right? Years ago, when I introduced the tarotistas to shadow work, we were, and I think on my channel a couple of years ago, I talked about different oracle decks that you can use. And it was actually one of my tarotistas who introduced me to that deck. And I had the same response, like the big eyes, fairy tale, like, really? Uh, right? We're going to do shadow work here. If we're going to go deep, I need it to be raw and skin tearing and eye searing and, rip your throat open. Like, if we're going to do that, I'm sorry, this is the type of shadow work that we do. And I got that deck and I sat down and worked with that deck. And yeah, she bitch slapped me several times. It was like, oh, how could you? Yes. So those of you who are looking for a shadow work deck, don't bypass the fairy tale oracle deck by Lucy Cavendish. Um,
I totally
yeah,
agree with you. Totally. And this is actually, I have four for
yeah,
decks.
the Alice in
I've got
Wonderland. Yeah,
Alice, then
Alice.
I've got
Yes,
vampires,
yeah.
and I've got this myths and mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, this is my favorite by far,
Yeah,
the fairy tale. I mean, they all great, but this one is really good. And as you said, like when you pull a card, like you don't expect it. Like, okay, I just, sometimes the keyword is already spot on, but sometimes it's just like you're not sure. And then you
right.
start reading. And even though I had an issue a little bit with this guidebook, it's a bit like all over the place for me. But I actually love it now. It's so chaotic, but like I always get out of it what I need to, and
Mm-hmm.
it goes deep, and it feels like ouch, like come on,
Right,
big eye,
right. Exactly. You're supposed to
go
be a
away.
fairy tale, right? Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I was hilarious. It was just hilarious twist because I hated this. I just and seriously, I rarely use hate. You know me. I'm bloody
Mm-hmm.
moon
Mm-hmm.
Libra.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously hated this art. Not artwork hate. Like I'm like
It
this is
wasn't
so
right. It didn't find
childish.
it
I'm like,
exactly.
how can you
You know,
even, please?
right, right.
Mm,
You know,
like no.
um, so that is not a deck that you would buy for your child. That's a what is that? That's a warning.
Yeah.
Okay. And it should be. That's not a children's deck. Do not be swayed by the title fairy tale and do not be swayed by the big eyes. These are not decks for kids. Like, I'm serious. These are for those of us who are, you know, doing this adulting thing. uh they will challenge you. They will challenge you. And it could be because we already have a preconceived notion when we look at these decks, like, part of our mind says this is a childish deck or should appeal to that genre or whatever. And then you get snatched back to like, wow. So no,
Yeah.
that deck should probably those decks should probably come with a warning. These are not for children.
Yeah, don't think this like a Americanized version of fairy tales. They like proper fairy tales, like when we were
Yes.
children, fairy tales I grew up on were like scary. I remember as a
Yeah.
child, sometimes you were like, oh my god, they all died or were like punished and you couldn't do shit because you got punished or, there was consequence to your actions. And now for children, these fairy tales are so like wishy-washy, washed down, like as if children didn't have capacity to understand like, deeper emotions in some ways. I don't know. I think we like stupidify children somehow. But the fairy tales here, she used the proper versions. They're not like sweet fairy tale
Right.
things.
No.
So by the
Well,
way,
yes.
your favorite fairy tale, do you have one that like stands out?
Um, well, it all depends on the author. So I don't have I don't have a favorite, but I am reading Nikita Gill again with this lighting. Seriously, let me get that right.
Fierce fairy tales.
Yes. Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
I don't know her, Nikita Gill.
Yes. Well, she writes raw. Okay. Hmm. You see, where others were only taught to love, to defend themselves, and had to learn the hard way how to survive, her mother taught her how to breathe fire, so that if there ever were to throw her to the wolves, she could set their hearts aflame. This is the Dragon Witch's daughter, right? Um, Anything by Nikita Gill, because she rewrites, reworks the fairy tales that we grew up with. Okay. Let's see. But I am currently reading this one, Foxfire and Wolfskin.
Okay, by Sharon Blackie. I signed up for a
Yeah,
whole like
really.
Haggitude program with her. Starts in October. It goes for a year. It's for like
Yeah,
premenopausal women. I was
I
like,
know.
hello.
She has stories in here, folk tales more like, so you have meeting Baba Yaga, the water horse, the snow queen, things like that.
Love.
And I like when the fairy tales are written to the aspect or through a point of view where you're empowered. They're not neat, they're not clean. I finished reading one. This woman, uh, entity of the sea, Oni comes out of the sea, chose a man to marry, gave him everything, wealth, blah, blah, blah. And he calls himself wanted to have a dalliance with someone else. And she found out about it. And there's someone else had gotten pregnant. And so this sea woman, sea creature, she took revenge as only a sea creature could. And I just thought that was like justification. That's just me.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm not the one that you want to come to for the fairy tales. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Just
Candy says that she was quoting Nikita Gill in her August Happies, and that's
oh,
synchronicity, that she loves her poetry as well. Yeah. I would love you guys if you have a favorite fairy tale. You know, like for example, for me it was Little Mermaid. It was, I remember being a child and like crying to it and like going, why did it end like it ended? Like fairy tales should end. Like it's a happy ending, you know, most of the fairy tales I knew ended like in a happy way. Well, this one didn't. I was so disappointed, and there's so many themes in this fairy tale even now that are kind of valid in my life. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. This as a little child, I actually loved it and kind of disliked it and loved it. Like, you know, it was just like this hate and love relationship at the same time. And I love this fairy tale still, and it's in here as well, which is cool.
and that's another thing as well, Kasha. For many of us, we also have a lot of African fairy tales that I'll be reintroducing or bringing back to the channel that give a different perspective on the European Western uh, fairy tale, so to speak, which adds another layer of learning, teaching. As you talk about the Little Mermaid, I want to say that I heard like a lot, these fairy tales are created to not necessarily cover up, but ease your way into the true story, the true meaning, the lesson in that, right? I think The Little Mermaid is about, like self-sacrifice, giving yourself over to something or having a desire and not truly understanding the cost of that desire.
Well, I think there's so many like losing your voice. You know, she had to sacrifice, like give away her voice for like
Right,
for love,
right,
and there is this whole how she was living with pain and
right,
love,
exactly,
with
right.
you know, and how much she actually gave to be with this
With
person
the
who
person,
like who
right,
didn't give it back to her,
exactly.
and then like just this whole thing of like being like not satisfied with the life she had, even though it
Yeah.
was a good life when she was just a happy little mermaid.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
and like it's kind of like growing into your power really, but things just gone wrong in this fairy tale.
Exactly, exactly.
So maybe um would be cool also if at some point maybe either you could make a video, we could maybe catch up and like just do like one, for example, African fairy tale, and we could just talk about it, maybe pull cards on it, or I don't know.
Sure.
That would be
Absolutely.
interesting.
Yes,
I
yes.
love this.
Yeah.
And you're right, like we rarely hear I mean you can find it now on YouTube. You just have to have interest to go there, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
hopefully we inspire you to find interest. Go find other
Right.
fairy tales and
Yeah.
yeah. Would be nice to have some like decks created with different fairy tales, not just the European ones. You know me, I'm
Right.
passionate about the European ones because
Well,
I grew up with them, but I would love to also, just play. And
well,
I wonder,
there is that tarot deck. What is it? Tarot the Divine, Yoshi Yoshitani. I mean, I'm not a fan of that deck. Um, I've
but it
talked
does
about that as
gather.
well. Yeah, but there's a lot of the deck explores or introduces you to a lot of world fairy tales. Um, for me, that's its only redeeming quality. If you are curious enough to say, I want to learn more about the story of Gilgamesh or John Henry, right? As opposed to just using it as a tarot deck or method of divination or an oracle, probably use it for storytelling, because even in stories, you can get the answers that you need, right? In Ifa, we have something called pataki. Pataki or patakin in plural is the story behind the meaning of the divinatory spread, for lack of a better term, that you get, right? Which is even more powerful than the layout that you see, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah.
So I know we're probably, okay, I'm going someplace. When we put down tarot cards, we tend to do the interpretation from what we see there, and that's it, right? It's done. But when you get a reading in Ifa, it's you get the reading, you get the explanation of the reading, and then you get advice to implement that reading. And then you have the patakin, the story that goes with it, the reason why this particular reading or divination came up, and the story as to how this particular divination came into being, what you can learn from this, right? So when I do a tarot reading, I'm always thinking of the story. Even if it's something that I can make a connection with, even if it's something that I can pull from my mind to add another layer to that reading, that, you know what, if that makes sense, like the exclamation point. It's more than just the Five of Cups says loss and blah, 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 all of that. For me, there's something, it doesn't happen all the time, but something may be triggered in my storytelling bank that enhances that reading. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, it's interesting that you went there because that will be my second question. I'm just going to check what people wrote here. Tomaya said that Little Mermaid was also her favorite fairy tale. Porous Palms wrote that they love Railroad Bill, African American folk tale. I don't
Yes.
know it. She says like it's almost like a black Robin Hood figure.
Uh-huh.
Rose True wrote that his favorite folktale was Five Chinese Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Kim said that she loves Ugly Duckling, Rumpelstiltskin, Jack and the Beanstalk, and the Emperor's New Suit. And now Shaz said that she just loves Nikita Gill too. So I have to get onto her books because I think I'm
Yes.
missing out now.
Yes.
So going back to my question, like,
Mm-hmm.
what is your reading style? So you mentioned that
Ooh,
you love the stories, right? You always think of this patakin as this like to put it
yeah.
in the story as like you can take the story and we remember stories because that's
Mm-hmm.
how humanity learns. I think that's how we always been
Right, right.
taught.
Ooh, style. Wow, that's so broad in my mind. Honestly, I never
Same.
thought I never thought that I had a style. I don't have particular decks that I use with any season. Um, I don't have particular decks that I use with a particular client. So my place is like a scientist lab, and whatever grabs my attention, that's what I'm going to use in that moment. And that's it. Um,
So do
my
you use
style.
like any other like systems? Like for example, if you read cards, do you just focus on the cards themselves? Do you add some astrology or numerology or I don't know?
Well, it all depends. Sometimes so it all depends on what I'm called to pull. Like if I notice a plethora of numbers, right? I'll speak on bit on numerology because I'm not super proficient in numerology. It's not something I go deep into, but sometimes just the basic information is enough to go, oh, I see it now, And then I do have reference books. I'm not afraid to say, you know what, let me see what 327 means, right? Maybe that means something for you. Add the numbers together, all of that. The same with astrology. I have surface knowledge of astrology. I tend to work more with the moon cycle. But yeah, I do implement that. I'm starting to implement tea leaf reading,
Oh,
right? What's her name? Her name is Karen. I think she's in New Zealand or Australia. I'm doing a course with her. So sometimes I use the actual tea leaves, and sometimes, you have these little cards that look like Lenormand cards. Use that, and I'm using charms. I've introduced charm casting. Um, I will use the shells, the caracoles, minimally. Um, but that's only for a particular client and a particular reason. But yeah, it all depends. Sometimes there's oil on water. Sometimes it's the candle wax. Sometimes it's the incense smoke. Sometimes, if I'm in a reading and I hear something like right now, I'm hearing the crickets having a ball behind me. It could be a bird that passes by, or it could be, all of a sudden I hear someone saying something outside. So it's just a lot of things at that time that come in. So my reading style is a goulash of everything that I have on hand. Like I might see a pattern in a piece of fabric. Um,
yeah,
anything.
yeah. I actually noticed, over the years that I heavily rely on astrology, just because I think astrology to me is somehow like gives me those like I love the cycles that I can see where a person is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that even when I do like what do I need to know right now reading, I would use because usually when you buy a reading from me, a person is asked to put their date of birth and time and all this. That
Right.
I usually put
Right.
an astrology chart, so I can like it gives me this like depth, in my opinion, to the reading. For some reason, I trust astrology much more than I trust gods. Like it's much more for me, like specific in some ways.
Yeah. Well, I believe
And then the
astrology
rest
is like
have this
it's a
other layer.
science, right? That's what they say. Astrology is a science, and it goes. I mean, it's a predictive science, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to it. Um, I don't think there's not a culture on this planet that doesn't pay attention to something astrologically. They may not even know what it is. The rising of the sun, the setting of the sun, the moon, the
Cycle.
stars, right? All of that. Um, yeah.
Yeah, but I
So
noticed also that I'm exactly like you, and Gulash would be my middle name in general. Because I'm the same, I have all these decks, right, all over my place, all the little things, oracle, tarots, different systems, and I'm like if I do a reading for someone, it's the same. I'm like, oh, this, and I love changing decks. That's why for me having many decks, it's always a blessing because
right.
I get bored very easily, and if I just was to use one deck, I mean, I can see the appeal in it too, because you like really, bonding, and this deck probably just gives you such amazing readings because you always use the same kind of images, so
Right,
you go
right.
deeper with it. I love this idea of it, but it just doesn't suit my personality at all. I'm too kind of, all over
Yeah.
the place. And like I just grab these different decks and mishmash, and I love using many decks in a reading. I don't think I've ever done a reading with just one deck, like normally for a person. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm always getting like mixed goulash.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Hmm.
Let's use this.
I mean, it's good. First of all, I think um, it sharpens you, and it's kind of like hitting the reset button, right? That, I mean, I wouldn't have, well, it all depends on the type of person you are.
Yeah,
Using a fresh deck to do a reading, like for me, I don't need to sit with a deck to get to know it to do a reading with me,
same.
right? It's like I either I'm going to hit it or I'm not. And even then, if I don't, I put it aside because it's like, okay, you want to challenge me, but I'm not going to have you embarrass me in a reading. Um, Maybe we need to develop a personal relationship, and then I'll take it from there. Um,
True.
but there's nothing wrong with going to your old standbys again, right? Because that's your place of comfort. It's like the pair of socks that you should have thrown out a long time ago because there's a hole in it. And you're just like, the hole is in the right place. My big toe fits that hole perfectly. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And this gives me a place of security. And again, I think it depends on the type of readings that you're doing, the type of day that you're going to have. And, if doing consultations is your job, sometimes I want to feel secure. I want to feel grounded before I start doing these readings. I mean, anything can happen. You could wake up in the morning and you don't have any hot water and you've got a whole day of readings planned ahead of you. Or, you had an argument with your partner, or
yeah.
I don't
Life,
know, you didn't take
life
the chicken.
happened. Yeah,
Life, right? And so your job is, oh, you've got 6 readings scheduled, right? And the last thing you want to do is like fumble through everything. So you go to what you feel or what you know to be your comfort, your place of comfort. Like, I know this deck in and out. I am going to open myself to spirit, my guides, my angels, whoever, whatever, the great pumpkin, white rabbit, whatever, and make that connection. And we're going to do and give the best readings we ever gave, because I know this deck like the back of my hand. And
yeah,
I'm just a conduit. And that client came to me for a reason. And
yeah.
that's what I'm going to do. Right.
I'm
And
just looking.
sometimes,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at this chart, and Julie is asking, "What are your old tarot standbys?
Oh,
Do you have
um,
like what would be this deck that like you would kind of use
oh,
if anything goes wrong on the deck?"
um, my Morgan Greer, that's
I
still in
love
its
that.
box. I mean, I don't know if you can see this box, but yeah.
Yeah,
I have a Robin Wood. Um, any version of the ugly yellow box, and everyone who knows me, you know what I say, any version
yeah.
of that. I just got, do I have it here? I just got a melanated one. If it's Rider Waite Smith, Pixie's deck, that's one. Um, One of my favorite Oracle decks here is the Energy Oracle by, um, as much as I'm not a fan of Colette Baron Reed.
Oh my God, I hate this oracle. I'm sorry.
You
I
know what?
hate, and I'm like, oh no, there's something sleazy about it. I can't. I know that people like it and appreciate for what it is if you like it, but yeah, I can't.
You know why I like this deck?
Yeah,
Because it covers life, relationships, and your money.
that's
When
all the
people
things
coming
that
to
you
you,
want to know.
when people are coming to you for a reading, what are they coming to you for?
Love,
Right?
money, and
Exactly.
jobs.
That's that's why I like this deck. It covers all of that. It's like my grand go-to, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, see, here's the thing. You don't have to be a fan. This is my perspective. You don't have to be a fan of the creator to like their work,
Yeah.
but you want to use discernment because, and I said this again, frankly, I think that they should have stopped when they made this deck. Everything after this is where they should have. Anything else that came after this, bleh,
Yeah,
that's
and
my
also,
opinion.
for people, if you haven't watched, we had a conversation with Queen Auset, like, was it 2 years ago or a year and a half ago? Look, it was in an interview, Inspired Tarot Map interview. I rewatched it recently, and we talked a little bit about oracle decks, about Doreen Virtue. We said something along the lines that you said, that, and me too, actually, that even though, like, whatever Doreen Virtue changed and did the whole flip through, that, her decks are still working and people like them, and that they can be still used, and whoever likes them doesn't have to feel suddenly, horrible about what Doreen Virtue decided to do with her own life. And
Right.
yeah, it's kind of along
I
the
mean,
lines.
as we said before we went live, we as human beings, we're complex. We like what we like. We don't like what we don't like. And that can change, right? That can change. But I think sometimes we tend to take things out of context. Okay. When you go to a restaurant, do you know anything about that chef cooking your food? Nothing. Does it keep you
Unless you
from
go to
enjoying that
the
meal? It doesn't, does it? Right? Now, had you known something about that chef, that might, of course, you know, taint your experience. But then, would it? Because you'd be like, well, damn, I don't know, I don't know, they always wear, I don't know, flip flops. I don't know, think of something stupid, you know what I mean? And put a rubber ducky on top of their head, and you'd be like, oh, what is that? Because we're human beings, right? We like to do that whole judgmental thing. And, I don't care how spiritually grown we say we are. At the end of the day, we're judgy. I'll claim that. I can be, right? But that's part of the journey of being a human being. Okay. And I don't think there's anyone who is watching this right now could say, oh, no, I'm not, I'm not judgy and I allow for this and love and like, stop the bullshit. Okay. You'll stop being judgy when they start throwing dirt on you. It just matters the place where you are at that moment.
yeah,
You would be, you know?
yeah.
Um,
People say that they love this oracle deck.
which one? The Wisdom of the
Uh,
Oracle?
yeah, the
Yeah.
wisdom. Yeah, and energy oracle as well.
Yeah. These are like, I mean, so it's got angels and chakras and all that in there. But something. Okay, so look at me, right? You see this? Okay. This doesn't rub off. So, and I will always say this. This is always going to be my precursor in this community. These decks were not made with me in mind. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I don't need to see myself in a deck to work with it. I don't, right? That's why I can work with Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle. I
Yeah,
love it, right?
yeah,
So, if you're a Trekkie, we're all ugly bags of water. So I'm an ugly bag of water who's looking at these Oracle decks, and I'm going to use them as tools. So again, as I said, I don't need to see myself in this deck or any deck to work with it. And I've never had a client say, oh no, don't use that deck. Oh no, can you pull out a deck that has people that look like me? I'm not on that vibration, I guess you could say. I'm a conduit here to use a tool.
but it's
Does
so
that make
true. what you're saying, because I read for many people, and I read for black people, for yellow, white, everybody, for gays, for queers. Like seriously, I have very
Right.
mixed variety of clients, and never ever did I hear, don't use this deck, or I'm not in this deck, or yeah. I think people, like, you look at it symbolically as well. It's still, I think, things are changing. I think we have so many like cool decks that, like
Of
what we
course.
were talking about since 2020, right? It feels like it's like the seeds were planted, and
Yeah.
like from what I think I see, like publishing houses are doing like much better job at like
They
putting
are,
good
right? They're more
decks.
that,
And
of course, the decks that are coming out are more inclusive, but
yeah,
someone is bound to be left out, right? We know, we have to have a broader understanding, but it is 2022, right? It's 2022, and I still am seeing decks coming out like it's 1972, 1982, like, and it just make now this is where the judgy comes in, because as a creator who has more access to the world via this box that we're in, it's your choice to create your deck how you want to, but then it's also my choice as a consumer not to purchase that deck. Why? Simply because I feel that your worldview is very narrow,
yeah,
right? And so that's where I use my discernment whether I'm going to purchase a deck or not. Like, are they really seeing the world? Are they really open to the world? Now, again, maybe you don't want to. Maybe you want to keep your worldview narrow, and that's okay. And then that's when I'm going to keep my $50 in my wallet,
yeah.
you know?
And by the way, we have a lot of judges in the chat. We're not the only ones. Yeah.
I'm gonna work on adjusting this lighting. Guys, I'm gonna go black for a minute. I'm still here. You'll hear me, you can talk, but I'm gonna be moving up and down, and y'all don't need to see my all together. So I'm still here, Kasha, but I will need to work on this lighting because it's bugging me.
Good. Good.
Okay.
So in this case, I'm going to maybe you work on the lighting, and
Okay.
I'm going to show you guys my recent purchase. And if you, Queen Auset, fix the lighting, you can think in the meantime if you have a recent purchase or what did you buy
Okay.
recent, like the most recent.
All
So
right.
this is, I mean, I said purchase, but I did get it for a review. But it's called Purple Diamond Tarot. I don't know if you know this.
I
It's
don't know
by
this tarot.
Arizona Smith, and she is from the UK, and she hand like painted the deck. It comes also with the little
Nope.
booklet. I just got it 2 days ago, but the book is very simple in a way, but what I appreciate about it, it's really cool for like day-to-day readings, because she took a little bit of time, which I appreciate. That's why I appreciate this book, to actually make her own connection to the cards. And you can see it in the book that she doesn't just give you, Rider-Waite-Smith repetition of whatever the card could mean. It's based on Rider-Waite-Smith, but she uses, like, I'm going to pull us one card. She uses a little bit different just wording and approach. So I'm going to pull us one card, and let's see. Judgment for all you judges out there. So
All
it's
right.
judgment card. It looks like this, with little bit like, Wild Unknown, the
Yeah.
justice card, like with the two cats. But what she writes here for judgment, it says, this card might bring up resistance in us, as we often associate judgment with guilt and shame. However, the spirit of this card lies in forgiveness. Where might you be freshly able to release past hurts and non-acceptance? When we stop adding our judgment to what is, energy moves through us freely. This does not mean you condone hurtful events, but that you let go of the belief that your staying hurt might change the past. Free yourself from your own judgment, forgive yourself and others. Nature can be an excellent guide for this process. And there's like a little kind of affirmation which says,
Gotcha.
I free myself from expectations. That's pretty cool.
That is. Yes, yes.
And,
Yeah.
and the whole
I,
book is just like simple, but
okay.
it gives you like, nice summary of the cat, I thought. And like you can see that she took time to actually rethink
Put
this
it
for
together.
herself.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my recent. I'm just going to show a couple of cards, like just. It's like this style reminds me also a little bit of Rachel Pollack's, this Shining Tribe Tarot.
Tribe, yes, yes, which I'm going
Um,
to pull off of my shelf. There's a
yes.
VR that I'm going to do.
So it's kind of like, and it's got
It's
its own
cute.
voice and like little bit different takes on the archetypes, on the images. It's cute. I actually really like it, and I was surprised. Just because another Rider Waite Smith, I thought, but it's not
Yeah.
really it so much. Like it's between like Mother Peace, Shining Tribe, a little bit of its own unique voice, but it's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. It is cute. No, I see. Okay, so that brings um I I purchased I have a lot of decks, but I'm also reconnecting to my own voice. And it is cute, right? I would have bought that deck as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, wow, hmm. But honestly, when I come to, I wouldn't read with it. It's cute. It's a cute deck to have, right?
Yeah.
And again, I'm curious about the guidebook.
Yeah.
But never say never. I might be gifted the deck, hint, hint. Maybe if it's meant for me to have, I'll look into it. But it's kind of like, I don't know. How many cute decks do I need to have? And honestly, I don't read
All of
with
them.
cute. I know, but I don't read with cute decks.
But
Like
this
I
is
don't.
not cute in the sense like big eyes
No,
cute.
no, no. Like I'm talking even about like that art style.
Ah, yeah, okay, okay,
You know
okay.
what like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like even
yeah,
that art style. I
yeah,
appreciate it. And that's something that I'm noticing as well. So either we have uh decks coming out with artwork like that, like animated artwork or
yeah,
photo collage artwork or photo enhanced art. Um, you know, um, and me being a visual person, like I need to really, well, I like to see my imagery make sense. I don't want to see stuff on a card just because, like, why is this here? Like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah.
make it make sense. Um,
People
my
just
newest,
write about this actually in the comments, just like
really,
you said that, like, yeah, that sometimes in the books, like, you don't get to know, like, why is this symbol in the card or when. And actually,
yeah,
when you think about it, this I just showed it like Masha's deck. She did this
uh-huh,
tarot based on Tough Tarot, which is also,
okay,
I thought like I sent it to like Rockpool, Schiffer, US Games. She
yeah,
did it. It's a prototype. It's not even, she wants to do a Kickstarter because she can't afford, like publishing
yeah,
it. But what she did, I pulled it to show what she did in the book. It's really cool because she actually did use all the symbols, like
break
what
them
the
down,
symbol is, like why is it there. It just
right.
makes sense. So um this is really
Now,
interesting.
now here's the other side of the coin with me. Masha, I know Masha only from YouTube, but it's kind of like Julie. Like if I know you and you created a deck, you've got my money. Like for the most part, right? Because I'm I'm going to support the creator. Okay,
Yeah,
um, I'm going to support the creator because if I like what you do on your channel. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to agree. That's I like what you have to say. Um, there's very few people. Well, I don't watch anybody that I don't like. Number one, I'm just not even going to be bothered with that,
yeah,
right? And it's how you come across and all of that. Um, but I feel like everybody has something of value to share and something that I could glean something from me. And
Yeah.
then, I could make a decision like, oh, well, you know what, maybe that's not the channel for me. Or it could be something about their personality, and it's like, no, that their worldview is not in alignment with mine. So I'm not going to expend any energy on that channel. Marsha's deck, I'd be interested in it. I would just let me know when it's on Kickstarter. I would love to have it.
And
To
also
take a
it's
look.
unique in the sense that, like, mostly we do get Rider-Waite-Smith based, even if they
Right.
different, even if they like don't look like Rider-Waite-Smith at all,
Right. Right.
And they are Rider-Waite-Smith based. So to get like this tough, and it actually, looks like tough, but it doesn't look like tough. I think she did just such a great job.
I'm always, even Lennon right now, she just posted a video today, something about how she works with the Thoth deck, right? So I'm always fascinated by people, and the Thoth and we have a love-hate relationship that's been on and off since, I'm going to say, maybe 2000, right? I was given, it's an out of print Aleister Crowley OTO deck in the white box, little,
Yeah.
I was given that. And we've had an off and on, and every once in a while I'll sit down with it, and and then some days I'm just like, I don't know if I'm not ready for you or what, right? But I have my own personal cache of decks that I use. I say cache or cache of decks. And they're not, some of them, well, they're not mass produced.
Show us.
Okay, so you had asked about one of my all-time favorite decks, and this one, it's called the Little Red One Tarot deck. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. And it's kind of,
I don't know it.
you don't know it. Levita Rue created this deck before she transitioned Ibaye. It's based on I guess you could say it has the wisdom of the Orisha in it. It has all the majors. The minors are not in there. Okay, the minors are encapsulated, concentrated in card number 10. So she's like, this is, I don't know if you can see this. I want you to look at this. This is a hermit card. I know, can you see that?
Yeah.
There's a person in a boat.
Okay.
Okay.
You know that in the beginning I didn't see person in the boat. I thought that was actually a face and that they had a light bulb on the top of their head.
Yeah.
But now I see the boat. I see the boat.
Yeah. Person in a boat.
What are the
Right.
lights like on the side? What is this? Is this like just lights? Like a
No, they're not lights. It's the pathway. It's going through a tunnel.
tunnel? Okay.
And it's the ancestral realm. So this is what the back of the card looks like.
Ouroboros.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Let me see. So my Knights Tunde of Earth. My lighting really is not that great.
Yeah, if you could, and maybe you can bring it a bit closer, the card. Then it's okay. No, hold it there. No, a bit further, like this. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Right, Tunde.
Oh, it's a knight on the
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Knight of Earth, and then so what she did, and then Omo is your page of wands.
Oh, I love that.
Right, and so she took the minors and concentrated them all into a 10, all into the last card.
All minors in one card.
Yes.
So, okay, explain.
So it's to intensify the energy of the wands and the intensity, as opposed to like the build up, right? Because this work is let me see. This is a deck you would use when a person wants to know, how am I evolving? How am I growing on my spiritual journey?
Yeah.
Right. And we know that the minors pertain to the mundane life. Yeah. The mundane, everyday things. So when a person wants to develop their spiritual, develop themselves in their spiritual growth, or know if they're going on if they're going the right way on their spiritual journey, or how they can deepen their spiritual journey, or what they need to be aware of, then you want to tap into the majors, right? The majors, this is my perspective, are the big things, the things that are there in the background, but we don't often pay attention to them. Like they cause us, they are what form us as human beings. That's what I say. The majors form us as human beings, whether we realize it. The Hierophant, convention, rules, order, the tower, those life-changing moments. The tower's not always bad, but it's a life-changing moment, right? The empress, the first mother figure that you have in your life, the emperor, the first father figure that you have in your life, right? Those form you as a human being, and then you just make your decisions how you're going to develop and grow as a human being by taking your walk through the minors. And that's my perception. That's my practice.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm not sure if I totally subscribe to this division. I mostly did, but recently I started like questioning this a little bit because, yeah, it's like a little bit like separation, that like mundane is not spiritual in some way. I know
No,
that's not coming from that perspective, but like when people do this, like majors are important and the minors are mundane, I always feel like there's again this like split, like hard split between the, and depending on what person you are, I wouldn't worry about you or myself because we're kind of like gatherers and like we don't look flat at things, but sometimes
right,
people who are very like black and white, they just have hard line, that's the border and that's how we do it. And that's when I kind of go like, but there's always bats and see here and you can see it differently. And I'm recently like just, I don't know. I told you before we went live that I'm like rethinking a lot of my own like ways of how I do tarot and doing all of like how I want to structure this and if I want to do it. And yeah.
okay. So when I disappeared for the last year and a half, there are a few decks that I work with, when people talk about that deep dive.
Yeah.
And this deck has you quiet the outside noise. It helps you connect to. Now, remember, I'm an Avarisha devotee. So that's my foundation.
Yeah.
So we don't use cards to connect, to have the Orisha speak to us, but we can use cards to deepen our practice and fully immerse ourselves back into that. So that's what I mean by this, right? When I go to this deck or my Ashatele or my Tongues of the Mother, those are decks that pull me back into my spirituality. That's why I don't read for other people with this deck.
That's I
Right?
pulled the ones, for me, the Mary decks or
Yeah.
Margaret Peterson tarot. I love because it's just like amazing for the spirituality also. But I think mostly I would go to these two and Margaret Peterson. And I do have the other ones, Rumi tarot, it's wonderful, Buddha tarot. I love all the religious ones from all
Right.
different religions because obviously they,
Exactly.
a little bit differently.
So like for instance,
Are you there?
okay. Yes, I'm here. For instance, you see the writing on the wall. There's been a major shift happening in my career. Major shift happening. And it's scary, right? And no matter how many readings I get, no matter how many readings I do, the minors are not, they're not support, you know what I mean? They're not supporting me. It's almost like this deck for me is like for those of you who read the Bible, when God gave Noah that message to build the ark. And Noah's like, what are you talking about? Like, we in a desert. It's not going to rain. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It helps you, sometimes you're called to task to do something and you don't know. And it's not that you doubt you doubt your faith. You just need some surety, right? So this is like food for my soul, right? I need the nourishment that this gives me. So I don't want the fluff. This is like, give it to me straight, no chaser, like, and then it's like, okay, Auset this. You're going to have to do this. And until you do this, you're going to be so freaking uncomfortable. Like you can say it's not time yet, or you don't have enough money in the bank, blah, blah, blah. And spirit is like, okay, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And
Yeah.
so, we as human beings, we like to think that we have full control, but this tells me you have a choice for now. You do. We're going to guide you to make this easier. But you're going to have to do this, right? You can't stop the labor.
Yeah.
So,
So are you
one of
showing
my
us your most treasured decks or like your
this
favorite decks?
well, this is my most treasured. I'm going to be buried with this. Okay, this I will be buried with this
I
deck.
love the bag it comes in.
Thank you. Yeah, someone gave me this. I have my most treasured. This is another one. And I will do a walkthrough of this deck one of these days. But it's called Spirits of the North Divination Deck. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Looks beautiful.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get this.
I don't know it as well. I think I saw it at some point on maybe even on your YouTube channel, but it's beautiful.
So this is what the backs look like, right? It's a hand-painted deck. Let me see if I can pull up another one. Called Spirits of the North. I'll do a walkthrough of this deck at some point. I keep it in that bag.
Yeah.
Right.
And also for the guys in the chat, we would love to know in the comments if you can put your most treasured deck that
you guys.
you
Yes.
have. Curious. And
Yes.
you go, Queen Auset. What else?
Oh, I do have, well, of course, I mentioned this one, the Auset, when I was on Kim's channel. This lighting is like off the hook.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
I'm going to do a walkthrough of this deck. Okay. So this is like the sister to the Akamara.
Yes, Akamara, I know. Yeah.
Right? So I've never done a walkthrough of this deck. Do you know why? Because I don't do just walkthroughs. I don't just put the cards down, right? There's a story. There's a message. When I got this deck, it's been 3 years now. I've been working with this deck for the past 3 years. I'm just about ready to introduce her to the public from my
understanding.
Exactly, right? Akamara is a Yoruba term, okay? The Auset, I do have one other deck, but I'm not going to go get it. And it's the Andinka Symbols deck. But the Auset, like that.
So what's the writing on the cards? Is it like a quote?
The writing?
What does it say?
So
maybe pull one card for us.
Okay. So this deck, when Lolu created it, it's connected with Rider-Waite, the mask that are pertaining to different tribes in Africa and their meaning connected to that particular deck, astrological, okay, card playing.
Oh, okay. So
and the barajas, the Spanish playing cards. So all of this is in this deck. And then she breaks it down into love, into personal, career, and money, spirituality. She gives you like the patakin that will go with the card. She gives you,
So cool.
okay, let me show you this one. Let's see, this security.
You
That's my
pulled
10.
security for us, yes?
Yeah, I've just pulled that. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna give you, that is my 10 of diamonds. I'm going to tell you what it says. Okay, yeah. All right. So in the book, I don't know if you could see that. That's what it looks like on the card. That's the mask.
Yeah.
Right? Then you have the Yoruba name. Okay. She breaks it down, 10 of diamonds, common name, 10 of pentacles. She ruled by Virgo, element earth, universal law, the kingdom. So she has it broken down that way. The yes or no correspondence, it would be a yes. Okay. Fortune telling symbol, bank, farm, wealth, freedom, and hoodoo fortune. Journey or changes bringing wealth. Okay. She has the upright. She gives you upright, that tells you one way, meaning legacy, family business, ancestry, riches, security. And then this reverse, fanfe, means trap, familial dispute, loss of relative, fleeting success, instability, right? Then she tells you about the mask. The Bete mask, omnipresent in Bete's life, seeks to create a harmonious relationship with nature and the ancestors who are responsible for the well-being of the tribe. Only the Western Bete is known to have a masking tradition to fight the hostile forces that hunters face in the undergrowth and trees. Their masks offer magical protection, instilling fear and panic in future opponents. Right? And then you could read past, present, future, love, career, money, spirituality. So depending on what you're asking about, this card will speak on that. And this is another all-purpose deck, right? Playing cards simple. No, you're not going to play. You can't play card games with this deck, but that's another one of my decks that I've been working with. I taught a class breaking down the types of masks, the components of the mask, the purpose of them, what they're made from, how they're used. Yeah, that deck is still not, we're not finished studying that deck.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you a little break. I read you what people write about their treasured decks before you
Sure.
start with the next one, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Candy can choose because she loves all her decks. Porous Palms, she said, my go-to deck is Hoodoo Tarot. I love Hoodoo Tarot. I'm so glad. Is it out of print now or is it still?
No, it's still in print.
It's available.
It's still in
Oh,
print.
cool.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
for a while there it was out of print and I was like, seriously, when? So great. Dust to Onyx. It's also Porous Palms. Evan Kim said Light Seer's Tarot is her go-to deck. Hoodoo is my most treasured. My most treasured is Delta Enduring Tarot. And Light Seers and Hoodoo Tarot are her go-to decks. But seriously, she said, I don't like to be put on the spot with these sorts of questions.
Right. I know.
Okay.
So, your favorite decks. So
know.
it's taken me a long time to build to this place, right? As I said, when I have clients, these are not decks that I would read yet with clients. These are
Yeah.
still my decks. It's still connecting to me. My other decks, sure, they're free game for my clients. I still, those are my tools that I use, but these decks have my personal ashe, my personal essence.
Yeah.
They are decks that I can allow myself to be vulnerable, naked with. Like, I
Yeah.
am coming to you because I want the truth. Like, I want it straight up, no chaser, no holds bar. I don't want to have to sit and, oh, does it mean this and it should mean that? Like, that's what these decks are for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you're going to probably find a deck that you connect with some level culturally. That's, and I think that was the thing for me, like what really connects me to these decks, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of it.
Rose True said their most treasured deck is the Toph,
Okay.
and Tomaya Rider-Waite Smith, Gil Tarot, El Tarot Egipcio, yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to say it, Baraha,
Yeah.
Soul Coaching, a couple of decks, Akamara for Sweet Savory Spicy Jones, Afro Goddess. Oh, you like Afro Goddess as well?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and speaking of which, announcement. So the Afro Goddess, Andrea, y'all go buy up the last of the independent decks because she is going mass market.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to get it then because it was just too much for me from the US with the fees here and all of this bullshit and
She
postage.
is taking the Afro God, and everything that she makes, I have. So yes, her decks are going mass market. So she has a few indie decks left, few copies.
Yeah.
Get them because when they're gone, right?
Drew
I-
just said like I'm she her. Okay. Hello you, beautiful lady. I can
who
never see on the picture.
who said this?
Rose True. Is this your name, Rose? Or is it just name of your name on the YouTube? Do you know Rose True? I don't know what's the name. What's
I
her
don't.
name? Is this your name, Rose? Because it's written Rose with Z, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Is this the name?
No, no. Maybe I do, and I don't.
You might, you might.
I might. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. What else do we have?
and then I have Tongues of the Mother, right? Tongues of the Mother. This is another deck by Lolu, who created the Akamar deck. And
Akamara,
this
yeah.
is a pip. Well, Akamar is a pip deck, right? So just like this is a pip deck as well. Yeah. But, you know, this is my Empress.
Oh.
Right?
So kind of stony but cosmic. Like, like
Exactly.
stones and
Exactly.
stars together.
It's very, very bare. Like look at my Ace of Wands.
And I love that silver touches she did with
Mm-hmm.
the foil. It's beautiful.
Yeah, right.
It's a very
So
unique deck. I like this one.
Tongues of the Mother, my king. I'm pulling all wands today. My King of Wands, you know, that's a representation of an elder for me, So that's the connection that I have with this. This is one of my when people do ancestor work, right? Uh, I use either the Rider-Waite Smith, believe it or not, or this
Yes.
ancestor work, right? There are
Yeah.
particular cards in here that my people, I know when they are with me, those cards show up.
Yeah.
And,
So,
so
is there anything else there?
I have one more, which is a
Okay.
playing card. Yeah, here it is. So I forget the name of the gentleman, but he's in the UK. And I think it was a year or two ago, I had done a walkthrough of it was like a mermaid oracle deck, and I had posted a picture, and because one of the cards was something about like either unity or friendship, but it showed three like mermaids on there. I don't know if you remember that. It's on my Instagram. But I also posted a picture of me and my two sisters on there, the three of us, right? And so he reached out to me and made a comment on that picture and asked me, told me they were a leather worker, and asked me to have something, if I wanted something created. So they created this deck case.
Oh, wow.
I
That's gorgeous.
with the three of us on it. It's all hand stitched.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it holds my my Yoruba playing cards.
Oh, Natalia just joined in. Hi, Nat.
Oh, hello,
Rose, I will
Natalia.
ask you a question in a sec.
So my Yoruba playing cards. Okay. And what these do, these are done by John Mason, who is a highly revered elder in our community. But of course, well, yeah, comes up. And they give you the Arisha on the cards.
Yeah. Well, that's special to you, definitely. Yeah.
Yes. And they give you the Yoruba on the cards, right?
So that's the shells. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, right. So I'll give you another one. Okay. And a recent acquisition that just came in, and then that would be my last one here. You know how we do. Sometimes we get these decks and we alter them, right? And so I did. I'm going to admit it. Is the Iyami Oracle by Aminat Oladipo. I'm going to have her on my channel. She was interviewed by Amber, Jonathan,
Oh, yeah.
Angela. Yeah, when she was creating this deck. I backed it. I got it in.
For me, the
I edged it.
Kickstarter is totally not.
Huh?
I don't back any Kickstarters unless they made in Europe. My post office just taught me a very valuable lesson. No.
The
That looks
decks are
awesome. Yeah.
the cards are large.
Oh, look at those. Cool.
Yes. I'm gonna do a walkthrough. The Iami are anyway.
Show a
I'm gonna
couple more
explain.
cards. That's beautiful.
Ajay.
I love those images. It's like Weaver's Oracle with black women. That's wonderful.
Exactly. This is the African, Nigerian, Yoruba.
I really like when the artwork is a little bit bolder, you know, that you don't, like, of course not on every deck, but like I like when it's just like stands out and you get a very cool.
So
yeah, I've never heard about this deck.
Yeah, it just came out. Here we go. Odua. So I have been in conversation. Oh, Olokun. Over Osabo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Queen of Swords.
So this is my newest acquisition. And this is going to be a favorite. So this is going to be a deck that I will be buried with as well. Just so you know. Okay. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Rose is asking if you know which version of the Afro Goddess Tarot is going mass market.
No, I do not. And it's probably going to be the first one that she came out with.
Okay, cool.
The original, yeah.
All right. Before, I think I have one more thing that I would like to tackle.
Sure.
And that was you and the shoes. And I thought, I thought that like it was so cool that you at some point on your Instagram shared us like these pairs of shoes and you connected them to tarot decks.
Hmm.
And I thought like it's so awesome and I stole your idea. I mean, I haven't yet, but I want to because recently I got into scents and perfumes and like I'm just like watching YouTube reviews of, perfumes and sometimes purchasing perfumes based on just
What
like
people say, how they,
yeah,
I
and very
know,
stupid
right, of
sometimes.
course.
Mostly it worked, but one was a totally like bad choice. So I learn because in my town I don't have a lot of this big perfume shops, so I can't really smell all of them. I have to go to Warsaw or whatever, but so I
Mhm.
don't do it very often. So sometimes I just like
I
instant
know.
instant buy. Mostly it worked, so I'm still surprised. But I
Okay.
thought doing the tarot deck that goes with a certain scent, like you did tarot deck with
With
shoes,
shoes. Hmm.
it's a really cool idea. Do you still like you probably purchased a lot of new shoes since since then? I'm not going to ask you to show us the combinations now, but also that would be another something for Instagram that you could throw us a little bit of.
Oh my gosh. Let's
I know that you
see.
love shoes.
I know. Oh boy. And I don't have any shoes around me right here. You know, when I'm home, I'm barefoot.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, wow.
Maybe you
Maybe
can
I
do
will get,
like a little Instagram mock-up for us, like
maybe
some
I'll
new
do
ideas,
something.
because now it's
But
probably not.
yeah, that was, I don't know, that was just something that came to me. I put together my two loves. I have a lot of loves, but shoes and tarot. And I just thought, well, why not? You know what I mean? Like, especially, and that goes back to like choosing a deck to work with, right? So when I get dressed, what pair of shoes am I going to wear? What's the feeling that I want to have? Like, do I
Yeah.
want to, you know, be very comfortable? And see, for me, comfort has nothing to do with heel height because I can wear a pair of 6-inch heels. If it has a nice platform, they're more comfortable than some flat shoes, right? But sometimes it's like, do I want the shoe that just evokes, I just, from limousine to door? Or do I want the shoe that talks about just business? Or do I want the shoe that's just for indoors, private moments, right? So just think like shoes for indoor private moments. What is that deck? Tarot Sexual Magic, the Eros Tarot, like all those sensual, sexy decks. Those are the
Yeah.
kinds of shoes, right? Uh, your funky platforms, like if you have any, right? If you have any nice, and they do, like especially in the summertime, they come out with the shoes, like the what we call jellies, right? The plastic shoes. I think those are like Morgan Greer shoes, right? Yeah, those are Morgan Greer. You know what I mean? Even the deck that you just showed us, because it's colorful and
Yeah.
it's, it's sweet and it's cute like that. Those are your fun summertime shoes that you're only going to wear to the beach.
What
Like
would be
the
sport shoes? Sport shoes. I'm thinking now, just came to
what?
mind.
Oh, sneakers? You mean like
Yeah,
trainers,
like
sneakers?
sneakers. Like what that
I
Rider Waite Smith?
no. Well,
I
no,
mean, just
no.
because it's like a workhorse.
Standard.
Um,
It is okay. Your sport shoes. Ooh,
anybody has an idea for sport shoes and tarot deck? Um,
yeah.
I don't
Like,
know.
oh gosh, I know. I have, I have, I have two pair of sport shoes. One actually has a platform in it. I
Oh.
was actually looking at a pair the other day that was covered in rhinestones.
You could do sport shoe like this, but don't come with.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
rhinestone or leopard print, right?
Oh,
And see,
Natalia says what tarot deck? No, what shoes would go with top deck?
oh, okay. You know what? I seriously, I have a pair of shoes. The heel is tall, narrow, and it has a snake wrapped around it.
Oh.
That would be my Thoth shoes. It has, because from the front it looks simple, chic, and elegant, but you really don't know about it until you see the backside of it, until you turn sideways. Now, that heel could be a weapon. It could bring pain and pleasure, depending. I'm just
Very
saying.
tough, very tough.
Right? Is that?
I
Yes.
like it. She agrees that Rider Waite Smith would be sport for her. Candy says that Doreen Virtue would be. She said court shoes, but I think she means sport shoes.
No, court. I know what she means by court shoes.
Ah, it's something
Court,
different. Okay.
yeah,
What is
court
it?
shoes are like they're your dressy shoes. They're the shoes like the Queen Mum would wear, right? They're very simple, basic, 2-inch heel. It's a shoe that when women, quote unquote, were going back into the workforce, right? They wore that shoe. Not exactly. We had them when I was in the military, so I know them as well. But they could have I know a lot about shoes. They could have an almond toe for comfort, and the heel is only about 2 inches. Am I correct, Candy? The shoebox doesn't show any toe cleavage because that's important. You have no clue what I'm talking about. There's a thing such as toe cleavage, right?
I remember when I lived in Australia and I learned what it means camel toe. Because
Yeah,
somebody said
okay,
it and I'm thinking, not to me, about somebody, and I'm thinking,
yes,
what?
yeah,
And they like, when you get, I was like,
yeah,
camel toe, how would I know?
right,
Not being a
yes.
native speaker, you're like, what are you talking about?
Does anyone else know about court shoes? Know what I'm talking about when I say court shoes?
Kim says that like old Converse Chucks is Rider Waite Smith.
Okay.
Gladiator sandals for what? For no.
Gladiator sandals. Those are summertime shoes with a lot of straps. And depending. So gladiator sandals can come, I have a pair that come all the way up to the knee. The only problem with them is that they have a lot of buckles. Oh my goodness gracious. That's a job. See? So what deck would that be? A deck that's complex would be the gladiator. For me, would be the gladiator sandals. Doesn't look like it would be complex, but by the time you start working with it, it's like, oh my goodness. And I see this, and wow, when you put this, oh, you know what the Santa Muerte might be, especially because I'm thinking when you put the Empress and the Emperor together, you get that one skull. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Santa Muerte?
Yeah, for now everybody agreed that no cleavage on the court.
Okay,
For
see?
sure.
Good, okay.
How about Folarcos tarot? Would it be for the
Oh
gladiator
my
things?
gosh.
Would be layered? Layered
Oh,
enough?
wow. The Folarcos,
I see it with some like not
the
sandals.
Folarcos is always my break me open deck,
Yeah.
right? The Folarcos is not one pair of shoes for me. The Folarcos reminds me of a movie actually called In Her Shoes. And it has, what's the name? Cameron Diaz and is it Toni Collette?
Oh yeah, when they sisters
Right?
or something, yeah?
Exactly. And Toni Collette was quote unquote dowdy, but she had a fantastic arrangement of shoes. And then she didn't start using the shoes until things started to fall apart, right? Break her open to really,
Oh wow.
why have these shoes if you're not going to wear them? So that's what the Polarcos is. And it's so
I'm not a
surprising because
shoe
I'm looking
lady.
at it.
I have to rewatch that movie
I
now.
just,
Take a look at the shoes. I
I'm
never paid
telling you,
attention.
yeah, in
I'm
her
like
shoes.
sneakers lady, so I'm like just bloody basic Rider Waite Smith chick.
You know,
Boring. Gigi says that tough shoes would be her old hiking shoes.
mm,
Kitten heels for
ah,
gladiator sandal is El Tarot Egipcio.
okay.
Okay. So anyway, I thought like we could inspire maybe because like I would do it with perfumes. Maybe you guys have something that you love as a thing other than
Yeah,
decks and compare it with like tarot decks and find the personalities of these things. I quite like it. We could do like a VR, but
yeah.
it doesn't have to be just shoes or just
Shoes.
scents or something.
Find what you like.
Whatever
You
you like,
know,
yeah.
anything that you love. so that's the thing, combine your collections, right? Things that you, if it's your jewelry, pieces of jewelry, glasses. So I've gotten into wearing, like, buying a lot of reading glasses is
Yeah.
crazy. Okay. I know this is a psychological issue, but I'm a collector, and I'm a collector of all things because I make my money and I cannot take it with me. So I call myself helping the economy. Sue me. Okay. Um, I like what I like, and I like a lot of it. And then, what I don't like, I pass it on. I give it away. Right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And I know it's a psychological thing with me because for many years I didn't have, so um yeah, so you guys, the things that you love outside of tarot and oracle decks, because those of us who are watching this channel, we know we have this one thing in common, but you got to have other things. For Kasha, it's perfume. For me, it's shoes. Think of jewelry. I know, Natalia, you have a serious jewelry collection that I just need to come out to the West Coast and scarf up. Candy. Candy, it's your art utensils and things,
Yeah.
things that you have, your paintbrush, like certain brushes, right? Because even as a seamstress, I have certain pairs of shears and scissors that I use. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, those of you who cook, like your favorite cooking
Yeah,
utensils,
exactly.
right?
They just said decks with dishes. That would be cool too.
Yeah, decks with,
Yeah.
yeah, with your dishes, or you have, like, if you have a plate collection,
Or
right?
decks with trees. Like what tree is what deck? What...
Yeah,
You know
your
about
tree or your
trees, don't you?
plants that you have, right? If you
Yeah.
have plants around you, or let's say, like, I don't know, if you have stuffed animals, those squashmallow things that people have, or little tchotchke statues. Come on, I know everybody has those things that gather dust on your shelves, and
Yeah.
everyone has another collection besides cards.
Yeah.
I know it.
Oh my God, I'm just like looking and I'm thinking, how many bloody figurines can I have in my place? Like,
Exactly,
are you
exactly.
for real? Like, and sorry, I just keep getting those all, and my space. I have no space. And
Space,
look
yeah.
at this just arrived. I mean, I put stuff on her, but like that's from Mary Henlin as well.
Uh-huh.
It's like a mix of Kali and Nut and Mary
Mm-hmm.
goulash.
Right.
But oh my God, like, and I'm looking at it thinking like, just stop, stop,
Yeah.
stop
Right.
getting figurines. But
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
love them, And
Exactly, exactly.
so why not?
Lipstick, lip gloss. Come on now. Lipstick and lip gloss. Nail polish.
Nail polish, yeah, they said your nails and oils. Oh, that's a good
Right?
idea too.
Yeah. Different types of
Crystals.
oil.
Kim said crystals
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, you could do crystals.
Toys for candy
Yeah.
as well.
Right. Little toys.
Tiny
Mm-hmm.
baskets. That's
Yeah.
dream. Awesome.
What about incense? Like, I have a lot of incense. That goes with fragrances, but incense that I like to burn, right? Um, that's
Oh,
a challenge for someone. Like,
you
if you
will
have a
like
collection
this.
of incense, which one?
Tamaya says that she has problem with sewing. She has 13 sewing machines, 7 and 10 vintage.
Okay, you know what? So I don't feel so bad about the ones that I have. And I'm not going to say how many I have, but thank you, Tamaya. I knew there was a reason. We are kindred spirits, honey. Yes, yes. Oh, and
Oh.
Tamaya, I'm going to ask you. I haven't been to your channel in a minute, but I would like you to continue and finish up the Baraja lessons. I can't see what's going on in the chat, but I'm making this public. Okay.
Okay,
See,
Tamaya, you heard it. Rose said people in your life and Dex. That's also cool.
ooh,
And Candy said the queen is back and I already have 110 videos ideas. Vampire paraphernalia, anyone, GG. It's an
yes,
essential oils. Yeah, I'd love
you
essential oils
know,
and tarot. Yeah, and I thought actually before I was thinking of essential oils and cards from tarot because
mm-hmm,
sometimes you get like, vetiver. What would vetiver be? Something
right,
earthy and something with pentacles maybe, but a little bit of tower maybe too because it's
mm-hmm,
just like,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
but the
right,
ground, yeah, it would be cool. Emperor, that would be also a good
yeah,
video to do.
exactly.
Okay, Queen, I think we're going to slowly wrap it up.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming to 2 hours. I know it's not 2 hours live, but maybe hour and a half. So I think it's
Okay,
slowly time. But I wanted to ask you the last question
sure.
about your hobbies outside of tarot and divination. Like, what are you? You said that you're studying a little bit of this tea leaf.
Tea leaf,
That's
yeah, tea
cool.
leaf reading and charm casting. I'm adding that in to
Yeah.
my practice for me because I'm curious. Um, what is my hope outside of
Like
tarot? What
hobby,
is it?
hobby, like something that you're
Hobbies?
passionate about right now. Maybe that's, yeah.
Oh, besides my sewing?
Sewing always, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, so those of you who are watching, I had created a sewing channel on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah, see, you don't know. Only a few people who are watching this
yeah,
know. Um, I wanted to have nothing to do with tarot,
yeah.
right? Because that, at the end of the day, ironically enough, if I had to give up one or the other, I would give up tarot. I would. My sewing. Um, and for the past year and a half, it has been flip flop. I've been focusing so much on tarot and my business and all that that I did not sew much of anything. And I want to get back to my sewing. I want to get back to that joy, that space. So that is my hobby. I'm going to be creating something um, for my tarotistas. Kim from Abundant Life is helping me create something. Maybe I'll make an announcement about it in a month or
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I got a couple of things. I
What's the
do.
name of the sewing channel? Share. You have to now you have to say.
You have to promise me nothing about tarot, nothing at all.
No.
Listen. Let me tell y'all something. If you're watching me, okay, you think that the tarot community is snobby? You get over to that sewing side. Oh my freaking God. You think about debt holes and all of that over here. You cannot outpace the sewing crew. Like you can't. They got the tarot community has nothing on the sewing community, and
Oh
I
my
love it. All
God.
right, I'm telling you, I love it. It's a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
It's incredible, right? It's called Stitched Treasures. That's where you find me.
Stitch treasures.
Yes, Stitched Treasures.
Stitched. Okay. I
Yes.
never was interested in sewing. It's like I have two left hands. It's just was never. My grandmother was a seamstress, so I thought
Yeah.
I could have picked up from her something, but nah.
But you also have the same kind of vibe as well that we have in the tarot world, right? You have those who are, you know, oh my God, the latest and the newest and what's done now, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
and then you have those who are just like comfortable with what they're creating and uplifting. One of my favorite people to watch over there is Madi Souls. And it's kind of bizarre because she found me on the tarot side,
Tarot. Yeah.
right? She found me on the tarot side. And one of the things that she was trying to do was sew her way through the major arcana of the Fountain Tarot, right? And Marty, if you're watching, you probably watch the playback, but I'm going to tell you a story. And she had to make a decision between tarot or sewing for what she wanted to do. And she chose sewing,
Okay.
right? She still loves tarot, but it's on that side. And we connected and we live in the same state, not too far from each other. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's one of the most positive, uplifting folks that I love. You guys can hear me crunching something. So one of the things I do, I'm not gonna put you on silent, you hear me crunching, that I do over on the sewing side for people who, we talk about body positivity and um, fails, sewing fails, things that don't work. Um, Honestly, my sewing community is more down to earth than my tarot community,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe it
Because
goes with the subject matter.
it does. You know what I
Right?
mean? And when you talk about grounding, and that's why I want to say everyone should have something creative. So one of the things that I do for the people that I watch over there, I would send them a tiara.
Queen.
I did.
Oh, you
Because,
do.
the queen, I
Oh,
do that. Right.
you're so cool.
I said this, right? Everybody can be you have to own that. Everyone can be a queen, but you have to own it.
Yeah,
Right. And you have to step into that
yeah,
and don't let anybody push you off or whatever,
yeah.
all of that.
And that comes with such a beautiful, degree of acceptance, I guess. Because it's not about perfection. It's not about fucking being the best of. It's not about, it's like really accepting your flaws and all, right?
Everything, exactly,
Yeah,
but I'm perfect in my imperfections.
yeah,
And one of the things I had said when I started this YouTube channel was, there are many tables that I would not be invited to. I said that, right? And I know this, but I am building a table that's welcoming everybody,
yeah,
you know. So
yeah. Cool. I think we
are
stop
we
at
done?
this and we can
Sure,
catch up another time and follow up
sure.
with, I have like a list of
Oh my,
questions.
oh my gosh.
Shoes, things,
Mm-hmm.
wish lists. What else would you uh like, what do you do love about what do you love about what you do in life, and all these wonderful questions, but maybe for the next
We'll
time.
we'll
So
do a part two. I don't have a deck on a wish list. Ironically, I don't.
me neither.
I don't have a deck on a wish list, but I'm always interested in hearing what people have on their wish list because
Sometimes you
I
don't
always
know that it is on your wish list until you know that it exists.
right, exactly, until you know what it is. But I always say that I run a tarot orphanage as well, right? Because of the business that I'm in. I work at a
Yeah.
woo-woo shop and people they change their mind about things. And so they will drop off shopping bags. And I'm like, I go through them and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a college tuition here, or we can use this for a collage project.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
let
if
me
you guys
know.
have decks that you don't want, send them over to the to the queen. She'll make use of them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Kristen is here. Hi, Kristen. You got here late because we're finishing. So lovely to see you, but goodbye now. I'm catching up with Kristen sometimes because we do the play with Melissa, so we actually
Yes.
see each other quite regularly during the classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to say thank you to everybody who was watching and to people who might be
Yeah.
rewatching.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. And I swear I'm going to work on this lighting. Like, guys, some days it works fine. And some days, what's
but
happening
it's
outside?
it's better when you close the thing,
Close the blinds?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think when it's the a camera freaks out when it doesn't know where the source of light is. So if it's too bright behind you, it's going to like mellow you out somehow.
see, I'm on a laptop here. Maybe I should put like a webcam or
But I'm on a
something.
laptop too. It's
Are
just
you?
this light is maybe I'm using this one, like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have one of those in the other room. The ring light. Yeah, I
Full
know.
moon.
I
Call me a
got, I
full
got,
moon.
look at, I mean, I got a ring light.
Yeah, you see? Oh, look now you look at your hair. It's got like
I know. I know.
awesome.
Okay, can we do
All
that Oompa
right.
Loompa look?
Well, thank you so much for catching with me. It was so good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while, and then when I saw you live with Kim, I was like, oh fuck, I miss Queen. Like, and I really would love you to come back to some at least tarot videos. Just like what you want to do with the decks. Like, I would love to see your reviews of those decks that you mentioned. Because I don't think anybody actually, like, I mean, okay, people did
We do.
reviews of them, but I would like your reviews of them.
Okay, I do. Okay, before we go, I'm going to wrap. So I am going to come back. This deck came out a while ago.
Ancestor Spirit Oracle.
I know, right? Came out 2-3 years ago. Jade Sky. You know, how it left me wanting because there's so much more. But I'm going to talk about this deck because oh my gosh, I bought a book.
Yeah. I love you. Like you're like amazing like this. Okay, I'm going to do
Okay.
this review, but like for fuck's sake, I've got a book because I know what I want to see in
Exactly.
the deck.
These, you know what I mean? Like seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. We can flesh out. That's one of the things that I want to talk about is like rejuvenating and reconnecting with the decks that you have, like something else, so that the decks you have are not just sitting there. Right.
Yeah.
So there's so many things in here that I found in here, especially for people who are doing ancestor work or ancestry work. This book right here, People of the World, National Geographic. You know, simply because I have a lot of clients who come to me, who am I? Where am I from? I don't know where I'm from. Right? I want to learn about my ancestry. That, okay?
Yeah.
And another deck that I have, which I think this deck is underrated.
Okay, I don't have it. I know it, but I don't have it. Yeah.
Right. The reason why I like this deck is the guidebook. Again, you know, yeah, anyway, it's the guidebook. All right. So the cards have let's say Ishel, right? Ishel, what she means, her message, how to call on Ishel or when to call on Ishel, activities and rituals that you can do, okay? A card spread that you can use, not just with this oracle deck, but also with tarot, and creating an altar, objects to put on the altar, fruits, flowers, herbs, incense, scented oil, stones, and crystals. This book, when we shut down, this is the deck that I use with my tarotistas, right? Everybody was given an assignment. And I remember one student in particular, she was home with her daughter and just pulling her hair out, didn't know what she wanted to do, couldn't figure things out. We worked on getting her grounded. And she had an assignment in here to create, to build, I want to say like a fairy house in her backyard. The instructions were in this book. And this is something that you don't hear when people are talking about this deck. I'm just saying.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. We're going to say goodbye now. Queen Auset, it was lovely to see you. I don't know if I stop this now, it's probably going to stop
Recording.
recording.
Tell everyone goodbye. Is everyone saying goodbye? Goodbye. Adios.
Goodbye,
See you later. Love you. Kisses,
Yes.
kisses, kisses.
Bye everyone, and we'll speak soon, and maybe we can think of something exciting, like
yes,
maybe more structured, like towards like one subject or something that we can
yes.
go deeper with.
You guys put your comments in what you like us to talk about, and we'll go
that
back
would be
and look
great.
at it,
Yeah,
right?
if you guys still here, then let us know, and we're going to be finishing now. Thanks, Queen Auset.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.